Manchester City's 3-3 draw with Feyenoord in the Champions League was a stunning example of how quickly a dominant position can unravel. From looking like they were on the verge of securing an important victory, City slipped into familiar problems that have plagued them throughout the season: defensive mistakes, loss of focus, and an inability to manage pressure when it mattered most. Haaland's brace seemed to provide a sense of relief after a rough stretch, especially after City had suffered heavy defeats, including a 4-0 drubbing by Tottenham Hotspur. The Norwegian striker had been clinical, slotting home a penalty in the dying moments of the first half and then extending City's lead early in the second with a composed finish. Ilkay Gündogan's deflected shot seemed to put the game beyond Feyenoord's reach, but the real story was about what happened in the final 15 minutes, when everything fell apart. Gvardiol's careless passes directly led to Feyenoord's comeback, starting with Enes Hajmousa's goal in the 75th minute. The Croatian defender has often been a reliable figure, but the two poor touches in quick succession exposed City's defensive vulnerabilities. Feyenoord's second came just 7 minutes later when Santiago Jimenez capitalized on another mistake, this time a poorly executed pass, to score with his chest. Finally, the equalizer came in the 89th minute when David Henko headed home a cross from Igor Pizeo that caught Ederson off guard. To make matters worse, Gvardiol, as well as other City defenders, were caught watching the ball as it sailed into the box. Guardiola's frustration was palpable as he sat with his head in his hands, reflecting on how a game that seemed so under control had slipped away. "I don't know if it's mental," he said post-match, but it was clear that his team's confidence has taken a major hit. This was a team that seemed desperate to prove itself after a series of disappointing results, but instead of bouncing back, they crumbled under the weight of their own errors. Guardiola's acknowledgement of their fragility and his inability to explain the consistent defensive blunders only adds to the sense of confusion around City's current form. This match also highlights just how far City have fallen from their previous levels of dominance. The alarming statistic that they have now conceded 2 or more goals in 6 consecutive matches for the first time since 1963, during a season when the club was relegated, is hard to ignore. While Haaland's goals provide a silver lining, City's overall defensive structure has become a serious concern. With Ruben Dias out and other key defensive players struggling, Guardiola's usual ability to organize a rock-solid defense has been undermined. The fragility is not just in their defense, but also in their mentality. The lack of composure in critical moments has allowed teams to capitalize on City's mistakes. Ake's comments following the match were a rare glimpse into the mental strain within the squad. "We have to stay strong mentally," he said, suggesting that City's players understand the gravity of their situation but aren't quite sure how to rectify it. The sense of disbelief after letting a 3-0 lead slip was evident, and it reflects a deeper psychological challenge facing Guardiola's squad. The reality is that, despite their attacking quality, City's defensive lapses and mental fragility have prevented them from putting together the performances needed to reassert their dominance. As Manchester City now prepare for their high-stakes clash against Liverpool at Anfield, the pressure is mounting. This is a team that can't afford another slip-up, as an 11-point gap between them and the Premier League leaders would likely be too large to overcome in the current climate. Liverpool, under Jurgen Klopp, have been clinical and consistent, and their attacking prowess, led by Salah, Nunez, and a solid midfield, presents a new set of challenges for City's already rattled defense. The challenge for Guardiola is twofold. He must find a way to shore up City's defense and find mental strength to maintain their composure when under pressure. Moreover, the implications for Guardiola are significant. A loss at Anfield could seriously impact his long-term standing as manager of City. His tactical prowess is unquestioned, but his ability to inspire his team through this turbulent phase is now under scrutiny. City's once invincible aura is starting to look like a distant memory, and questions about their ability to compete for both the Premier League and Champions League titles are becoming more persistent. For Feyenoord, the 3-3 draw was a triumph against the odds. To come back from 3-0 down, especially away from home against the reigning champions, was a remarkable feat. It also gives them hope of progressing in the Champions League, although their position at the bottom of the table reflects their uphill battle. The point was vital for Feyenoord, and their manager Brian Prisk couldn't have been happier with the resilience his team showed. This result will surely boost their confidence heading into their remaining fixtures. As City look ahead, it's clear they need more than just tactical adjustments. They need to rediscover the mental fortitude that once defined them. This is a team that was built to dominate, but the cracks are now visible for all to see. Only time will tell if they can address these issues, but one thing is for certain, if they don't, their season could unravel completely.